the pricing tab, we have our exit analysis summary, and it shows us the net cash flow for the specific year when the loan term ends and calculates exit refi rate and exit cap rate for both the standard and alternative refi scenarios. Now, if you want to see a full breakdown of our exit analysis, you can go up here and click on the Exit Analysis tab. Now that we're on the Exit Analysis tab, let's focus on the main two sections we have here. We have our cash flow projection, and below the refinance assumption. Let's start off with our cash flow projection. The cash flow projection is split into two sections. We have our cash flow projections and our trend analysis. Most of the income categories are trending by a default of 2%. The collection figures are taken directly from the underwriting column. The operating expenses are trending by 3% as a default. You can edit any of the trend figures as you see fit. The year one projections are based on the underwriting columns. The rest of the columns, we can see a projection of our performance for a set number of years, usually 16 years by default. We can also edit the trend analysis for different categories of income and expenses, as well as change the growth rate for the gross potential rent in this section right here, for each specific year, instead of changing the percentage for all the years. Another thing that is important to note is that we have the ability to add a different tax figure for every year in the case of a tax abatement. Let's go back up and input some percentages. These percentages will override the GPR trend percentages. In year 2, we will add 5, and in year 3, we will add 4. The rest of the years we will leave blank, and by default, the calculations will work with the trend of 2% in our model. If you scroll down, you can also see the net cash flow. Now let's go back up and minimize the cash flow projection section and focus instead on the refinance assumption section. In this section, we can select one of the loan quotes created earlier in this dropdown. Let's, in this example, use quote number 1. Now we can see the detailed breakdown of the loan terms and the maturity balance at the end of the term, all based on this specific loan quote we selected. We can also see important KPIs, such as the exit refi rate, cap rate, amortization, DSCR, and LTV. We can also edit manually the values for the DCR, LTV, and benchmark refinance rate. By editing these values, we then see the calculated exit refinance rate and terminal cap rate, as well as the loan details and maturity balance at the end of the term, adjusting accordingly. Now we can scroll back up and change from the standard to the alternative. And as you can see, the alternative scenario has the same features of the standard scenario, but you can also edit. Now that we have a better understanding of our exit analysis, let's move on to our quote editor.